Hey, this is James from Yard Act, and you are watching or listening to Records in My Life.
To ask you, first of all, I'm listening to your new record, Where's My Utopia? We cover the record, we cover you guys all the time. Congratulations on that. That's dropping. Tell us who you collaborated with on and you know, some of the inspirations behind it.
So I mean that record, we co-produced the album with Remi Kabaka Jr, who is he's the son of Remi Kabaka, who's a big influence, hugely important figure in sort of African rock music in the UK, and he's also a member of Gorillaz, which is quite, Gorillaz are the most important band. They started me on my musical journey, so to collaborate and become friends with one of their lot is amazing for me.
You have a favorite Gorillaz record, or something else he collaborated on?
My favorite Gorillaz record, the first ever record I bought was the self-titled album, but my favorite record by them is Plastic Beach, the third record. I absolutely love the premise and the sort of narrative running through it. But the songs are the best part about it, but it's just absolutely incredible that they pulled off. It doesn't feel like there's a wasted moment from every single guest star that they managed to rope into doing that thing. Like every appearance is justified.
I'm gonna kind of go full circle here. You just drew a little bit of a map for me. The show's not about me, of course, it's about you, but I'm just reading this book by Peter Hook on the Hacienda, and he talks about how African music, they used to book all these African bands in there. Cool. What is it like? Do you have a couple of other, soul artists that records that you really dig? And Peter Hook was also on that song, one of the Gorillaz songs. That's why how you just kind of triggered me on that.
Tony Allen again has got that Gorillaz connection. Obviously always worked with Fela Kuti, and I think we're still kind of feeling Fela Kuti's influence reverberating through modern music in more and more exciting ways. If I could pick a Fela Kuti record, I'd probably pick Expensive Shit, which I'd add to the pile. Obviously the connections that Fela had, obviously with Ginger Baker as well, and the Air Force One stuff. Have you seen that Ginger Baker documentary?
Yes, beautiful.
He's, I don't know how I feel about him, but you can't fault his love of African music, and you can't fault his skills as a drummer. One of the greatest artists that were working within that realm. I've been listening. I'm not sure if they're much of a sort of connection to the sort of English scene, but recently Francis Bebey has been cropping up a lot. I think a lot of that stuff's been reissued. I've really been enjoying that. And a few years ago, when Remi Kabaka put the William Onyeabor stuff out, I thought that was just some of the funnest music. Body and Soul, that 10-minute version of Body and Soul by William Onyeabor.
Thank you again for being on Records in My Life. I really, really appreciate it. The show, once again, is about you, the artist, and the records that have inspired you. If there was an ad on bulletin board or magazine or Craigslist to get Yard Act together, which records or bands, 2 or 3 records, which you guys all have a love for?
It's funny how this stuff's connecting. Bouncing back from the African influence on not thinking about its connections to sort of British rock music, but thinking about its connection to American rock music and how that wove its way into sort of Talking Heads. Talking Heads have been a huge influence on us, and I think Stop Making Sense with Bernie Worrell and the guitarist from I think he's from the Brothers Johnson. I can't remember his name. I think that kind of like that sort of like art school sort of white music being influenced by African music and funk and soul by black music is a template that we've followed, and I'd say I don't know whether the band would agree. I don't know whether the band would agree whether the big record for us is Remain in Light or Speaking in Tongues. I'd say it was Speaking in Tongues because that's my favourite, but maybe Remain in Light has had a bigger influence on the sound of Yard Acts. No, maybe Remain in Light. No, maybe it is Speaking in Tongues. I think the pop sensibility of Speaking in Tongues resonates with me a little bit more. So I go with Talking Heads. I go with. I pulled this one out, so this one actually fits in quite nicely here. More Specials by the Specials.
Beautiful. Rip,
yeah.
Harry Reid. Rest in peace. I should say Rip is kind of not nice.
Yeah, nah, that's cool. I mean, this record's just like, because I love the first Specials record. I think that can't be beat for energy. And we did a cover of Gangsters actually, which is somewhere on the internet if you want to find it. It's not as good as the original, so maybe don't bother. But it does exist. But more Specials just goes off in like so many more directions. And a third one, I don't know, maybe Odelay by Beck.
Good one.
Yeah, there's just the way that album works, start to finish, cut and paste approach.
So let me delve into the next question. You mentioned earlier that Gorillaz were one of the records that truly inspired you. Let's go back even a little longer ago. And what was the first record, or one of the more records earlier, that truly inspired you to want to play rock and roll and sing and create?
I mean, I guess, it was Gorillaz, but I suppose, and I'm talking about the first Gorillaz album, not Plastic Beach. The first Gorillaz album was also the first album that I got really into. But I suppose after that, first of all, there was like I guess sort of 90s pop stuff. But this was before I was inspired to create, but I suppose I was starting to soak up just stuff like the Spice Girls and Britney Spears and like and Robbie Williams, and then Gorillaz came along, and then not long after that, I suppose it was like pop punk and new metal were kind of popping off, and they were kind of everywhere. I suppose bands like Blink-182 and Papa Roach, and I really love Newfound Glory, Sum 41, like those bands.
Record in particular that just think right away that blew your mind.
I suppose that first Newfound Glory record called Newfound Glory that had Hit or Miss on it, I was obsessed with the drumming on that record. That was the sugary energy of that. I think to a sort of 11-year-old was really exciting.
Fantastic.
I've listened to that album for years, but I'm gonna go and listen to it after this. Actually, maybe not. It's nearly midnight here. Maybe tomorrow morning to wake me up.
My son is starting. I'm starting my son a record collection.
Cool.
I might give him one of mine. What's the first record I put in his collection?
Man, After the Gold Rush by Neil Young.
Massive.
That for me is the holy grail. that is the one for me. That's just so timeless that I'd just give that to, as my dad gave to me, I suppose. It's just,
Beautiful.
apparently after the Gold Rush by Neil Young is a Smith family heirloom. I don't know.
Beautiful. You're DJing a dental convention or an accountant's convention, and the dance floor is absolutely empty. So you got to pop a record on. It's guaranteed to get people out onto the floor. Which Roach record you spin?
Rockit by Herbie Hancock.
Fantastic. Fantastic. One more question, James, then we're on to the speed round. Thank you so much for being a sport and being on Records in My Life.
Now good.
Truly, I hope you had a good time, and
I had a great time.
We're looking forward to seeing you in Vancouver, actually, because I know you're making it out here, and we're all excited. I think it's gonna be great.
Yeah, wicked. I love Vancouver. We saw a coyote last time we were there in the right in the middle of the city.
Yeah, they're all around. It's crazy.
It's cool.
It's crazy. What's a good record to you've been touring like madmen over the last few years and tons of shows, and your shows are high energy. What's a good record to relax to on the bus or in your hotel room after?
I'd probably put something like I'd probably go for something like Designer by Aldous Harding.
Beautiful, yeah.
That was a big record for me a few years ago when it came out. Still listen to that a lot. And Julia Jacqueline maybe, Bill Callahan, Wilco. They're my relaxing bands.
On to the speed round. Weed, wine, or water to write or listen to your favorite music?
Weed.
Coffee with an artist, alive or dead?
I'd love to have coffee with Jeff Tweedy.
Fantastic. Record of your high school years?
Probably 2001 by Dr. Dre.
Words of wisdom for your fans and our audience?
Do what you want to do what makes you happy, but don't do anything that fucks other people over if you can. But if you fuck other people over, that's fine as well, because we all make mistakes.
The show is really nothing without you. So please like or subscribe or check out our Patreon. And this year we've switched it up, and you can win a record just for leaving a comment. Thank you again, and we love you. Peace.